Hi, I'm Ali and welcome to my channel. I'm filming today's video on July 2nd, which means I'm officially late for my July Shop My Stash video. But luckily I have a lot of project pan items that could kind of hold me over until I could film this video. But I'd really like to clean out this makeup basket and shop my stash for new products to use in July, so let's get started. So here I have my little acrylic container that I keep all of my monthly makeup basket and project pan items, but I think I'll start off with the two items that aren't in the container. I always start my skincare routine before I do my makeup, and I pulled in this Tony Moly Choc Green Tea Watery Essence to use during my essence step of my skincare routine. I was a little concerned that the product seemed to be really thick, definitely not what I would expect from an essence, especially something that calls itself a watery essence, but I was pleasantly surprised by this product. So it is definitely not watery, very unlike an essence, but what really surprised me was how cooling it feels immediately when you put it on the skin. It absorbs into the skin so nicely, and I really like these Tony Moly products. This is the second or third Tony Moly product I've ever tried. I got this in an Ipsy Glam Bag Plus. Very pleasantly surprised, and I'd love to try out more things from the Tony Moly line. The other new skincare product I tested out last month was this Tatcha Watery Cream. I need something that's a little lighter since I do have combination skin, and this Tatcha Watery Cream was perfect. Again, it's something that's very light, sinks into the skin, easily absorbs well. I don't feel like it clogged my pores or anything. And this was brand new when I opened it last month. And I think I've used maybe about a half, maybe 2/3 of the product. So I just have to debate now. Do I want to keep it in until I finish it up, or do I want to try something new and save this for another time? I'll think about it and we'll have the answer when I do my Shop My Stash. Okay, so starting off with my container. I kind of changed up the order of some of these items, and that really helped me get more use out of them. So I pulled in two new concealers to try out last month. These two e.l.f. 16-hour Camo Concealers. And I used the shades Light Peach and Medium Peach, just because I wasn't sure which one would match me best. These concealers are really, really thick. A little goes a long way. That's way too much. But just to give you an idea of the coloring, I did think that the Light Peach was a little too light. Medium Peach did look a little yellow, so I ended up just kind of putting a dab of each on and mixing them together, and I think that worked out okay. This is definitely a full coverage concealer, and obviously I would use much less than what I just swatched on my hand. But if you're looking for a nice full coverage concealer, this might be a great option. I believe I got them at Ulta for $5 total. They normally run $5 each, but I took advantage of a $5 off purchase coupon, and I can't remember if there was a price limit. It might have been $5 off of a purchase of $10 or more. And this worked out perfectly, so I got both concealers for $5. The other concealer I was testing out was this bareMinerals Blemish Rescue Skin Clearing Spot Concealer, and I used the shade Light 2W. This again was a good shade match. It's hard to see there. How about here? I did use it at the beginning of the month when I had quite a few breakouts, but not so much towards the end of the month. My skin started clearing up, so I didn't get as much use out of this. But this does have salicylic acid in it, which is a great acne fighting ingredient for me personally, so I will definitely keep this around. I had pulled in 2 of my older brow products to use this month, or in June, and that was the ColourPop Brow Bosses, and I used the shades Taupe and Dark Brown. I like to use Taupe for the inner parts of my brows, and I use Dark Brown for the arches and for the tails. So not a ton of color payoff. You do kind of have to work at it. I don't think I will be repurchasing either of these again in the future. The other brow product that I tested out was this Gimme Brow from Benefit, and this is in the shade 5. And I've got to say, I wasn't too impressed. I'm not sure if anything will show up on a swatch. Oh, okay, it does. I love the applicator. I think that it's so tiny and cute, but maybe it was just because I'm using this small trial size version. I didn't feel like a lot of product came out. I think it did an okay job of filling out my brows, but in terms of setting them, it didn't do anything. I still had to use my Anastasia clear brow gel over it to set my brows, and I would have hoped that with this brow product I could have eliminated the brow gel completely, but unfortunately no. Okay, everything left in this top drawer are either from Project Pan or a mascara that I pulled from a previous month, so we'll move on to the next drawer. I don't know if you can see that, but man, that e.l.f. Camel Concealer is not going anywhere. Okay, on to the next drawer. I pulled in a bunch of different eyeliners in June. I used this Ico London Skinny Liquid Eyeliner in black. I think I got this in an Ipsy bag. I can get a thinner line than that. Maybe just the pressure of filming. Unfortunately, I did find that this kind of smudged on me, so I just had to make sure to use a very, very thin line, and most times I was okay with this. I did enjoy using this Laura Geller Incredible Waterproof Gel Eyeliner Pencil. I got the shade Brown Eyed Girl in either in a Allure bag or an Ipsy bag. It says that there is a slight sparkle or iridescence, but you can really barely see it. I think I'll have to add this to my list of favorite gel eyeliners. And I also tried this Rimmel Exaggerate Smoke and Shine Gel Eyeliner. This is in the shade Copper Bling. I didn't use the smudger tip end. Here's a look at the shade. So definitely more of a warmer brown than the Brown Eyed Girl. Again, I don't really see the shimmer too much. I did find that the Rimmel eyeliner didn't have the same type of staying power as the Laura Geller gel eyeliner, but it is a pretty color, and maybe if I wore it again, I would bring it along with me so I could do touch-ups if needed throughout the day. I had kept in the Chanel cream eyeshadow. This is the Ombre Premier, the shade Undertone. I had pulled this for May, didn't use it too much, left it in for June, and I think I only used it once again in June. So I don't know, do I want to pull it again? Oh, it's so pretty. I think most likely I will be leaving this in for July, but we will see. I think I will leave it in for July. It's too pretty not to use. The other mascaras I'm just going to be using until they're finished or expired. The other items are Project Pan, so we'll move on to the next drawer. So this last drawer contains all of my lip products, and in June I was really feeling a coral peachy lip, so most of the colors will reflect that. Let's see. I use this L'Oreal Color Shine lipstick in the shade Luminous Coral. I really love the formula of this Luminous Shine line, and what I liked about this one is you can really kind of control the amount of color. So one swipe will give you just a little bit of color, but you can definitely build it up for a more intense look, and I appreciated that. The formula is so comfortable on the lips as well. I really enjoy using this line, and I think I wouldn't mind checking out other colors as well. Another coral lipstick I pulled was this Maybelline. This is from the Intimates Nudes line, and this is in the shade Naked Coral. This was one of the first drugstore lipsticks I purchased when I started getting back into makeup last year. Even though this is a matte formula lipstick, I find it to be very comfortable on the lips. I could definitely wear it alone, but I do like to usually pair it with a gloss or a balm on top. I also tested out this Wet n Wild Mega Last Liquid Catsuit, and this is in the shade Coral Corruption. So I recently found out that I have been using liquid lipsticks wrong. I thought that I should apply it all over my lips like I generally do with a bullet lipstick, but I saw an article online that said you get better coverage or more even application if you only apply the liquid lipstick to the inner parts of your lips and then kind of blend it out or dot it out with your finger for a more diffuse natural look, kind of like the ColourPop Ultra blotted lip look, and I really enjoyed using it that way. It's such a pretty color. It is a little drying on the lips, definitely not like a full-on liquid lipstick. I do think that this is a little bit more comfortable than that, but again, I would opt to pair it with a balm or a gloss on top. A gloss that I would pair it with would be this Marc Jacobs High Shine Enamored Lip Gloss, and this is in the shade Uproar. This is kind of a sticky formula, so I wouldn't use very much. And I guess it's not really orangey. Definitely not as orangey or peachy as it looks in the tube. And it does have kind of a minty or spearmint scent to it. But actually, I think you could pair that lip gloss with any of these lipsticks. I also pulled in one of my favorite lip colors. This is from the Katy Perry for CoverGirl line, Couture Tricot Grifts. And this is just one of those My Lips But Better colors. And with the Nordstrom anniversary sale just under 2 weeks away, I wanted to get some use on my Charlotte Tilbury products. I believe that there will be some Charlotte Tilbury offerings in the anniversary sale as always. So I use this Pillow Talk lip liner along with 2 of the lipsticks. So this is the Blushing Dream, and this is in the KISS-ING formula. And I have one lipstick in the Matte Revolution formula. This is in the shade Rose Kiss, and this was my favorite out of the 2. Actually, when I think back on when I bought this kit last year, I was really debating on it. I wasn't sure if this Blushing Dream color would be right for me. I was convinced to buy it when the Charlotte Tilbury girl told me that I could always layer the lipsticks to get a color that I like, but I actually ended up liking both colors, and I think I will actually keep this Rose Kiss color in my makeup basket for another month just to make sure that I really like the formula. The Charlotte Tilbury offering in the Nordstrom anniversary sale this year will consist of 3 Pillow Talk line products. There will be the Pillow Talk Lip Cheat, the Pillow Talk lipstick in the Matte Revolution formula, as well as the Pillow Talk lip gloss. So I just want to make sure that I really like this formula, and hopefully that'll help me determine whether I will buy that kit or not this year. Okay, the other products are from my project pan, and actually I think I'll put my other project pan items in here now before I forget, and we'll move on to my overflow basket. Okay, so here we have my basket of overflow products that don't fit into my little acrylic container. Let's start with the powders first. I use the Blemish Rescue Skin Clearing Loose Powder Foundation from bareMinerals. Again, this is in the shade Light 2W, which is the same shade as the Blemish Clearing Concealer from this line. I was concerned that it might be too dark, but I think that the shade match was okay after all. I loved using this on days when I just needed something quick and easy to kind of mattify my skin and just give me some very light coverage. I was amazed at how much faster my makeup routine went when I used a powder foundation versus a regular liquid foundation. So I'll definitely be keeping this around, but I think I'd like to try some maybe pressed powder foundations. I was also testing out the Chanel Natural Finish Loose Powder, and I have the shade Claire Translucent, which is the light translucent color. I did find that this product was accompanied by kind of a slight perfumey scent, which didn't bother me, but if you are someone that's sensitive to fragrances and scents, that might be an issue for you. I did think that this powder did a nice job at setting my foundation without making my skin look cakey. You really didn't need much of the powder at all. I'm not sure how good of a job it did at keeping my oils at bay though. I will continue to use this, but I will explore some other powder options. In June, I used a bunch of bareMinerals Blemish Rescue products, including this Skin Clearing Anti-Redness Mattifying Primer. I love this primer. It comes out green to help with the color correction, and you don't need very much. I would only use 4 dots, definitely a little bigger than this, but I kind of just rub them between my fingers and then dot them over my T-zone and my forehead. And I think it did a really nice job of priming my skin for the foundation that came next. So I decided to use the bareMinerals Bare Pro Liquid Foundation, and this is in the shade Warm Light. I just thought all the bareMinerals products might pair nicely together. This shade is definitely a little too light for me, but I think the next shade down is a little too dark or too yellow for me. So mixing this with my Project Pan foundation actually worked out perfectly. I also use this Bye Bye Pores pressed powder as a finishing powder, and I had forgotten how much I enjoyed using this powder. I'm not sure how much it made my pores disappear. I feel like my pores are very large to begin with, but I think it did a nice job of kind of blending out all of my makeup at the end, make everything look very seamless and melded together. I was testing out a new bronzer. This is the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Shady Biz. I believe this is the second lightest bronzer shade. And it is a light bronzer. It definitely can be built up. I do feel that initially it does pull a little orange on me, but after blending it out with powder, I think it'll work out okay. I will continue to use it, but I don't think this will be something that I will repurchase. I did, however, enjoy using this Fenty Beauty Kilowatt highlighter. This is in the shade Hustler Baby, and I bought this in a little set that came with the Fenty Glow lip gloss. I didn't expect to like this at all. I thought it would be too glittery, but it turns out I really liked it. I'm so glad to have this highlighter in my collection. I pulled in a couple of blushes in June as well. I used the Milani Luminoso Baked Blush. And I purposely chose one that didn't have too much glitter in it of all the other ones in the display when I first purchased it. Such a pretty blush. And I also pulled in the Alamar Cosmetics blush trio that came in the May Boxy Charm. And I was a little disappointed by this product. I thought that I would like it more than I actually did. It was an okay blush. I think the colors are beautiful in the pan, but they just didn't really seem to show up on my skin. Well, I guess now they do in swatching, but on a brush, I didn't feel like they showed up. But now looking at these swatches, I think they're so pretty. Oh, maybe I didn't give it a fair try. Maybe I should try it again using different blush brushes next time. So the final things left in my overflow basket are all eye products. I was testing out these two Stila Shimmer and Glows. This is in the shade Grace and Jezebel, and I enjoyed using both of them. I think I liked Grace a little bit better. This is Grace. And this is Jezebel, which was a little pinkier, if I recall. Okay, so this is Grace. This is Jezebel. Both really pretty. And I am tempted to keep them in for another month, and maybe I'll even pull in my other two Shimmer and Glows. So I'll be thinking about that. I pulled in a couple of new eyeshadow palettes. My new palettes included this Tom Ford quad. This is in the shade Cocoa Mirage. And while I did think the colors performed beautifully, I thought it was okay eyeshadow quad. I guess I expected a little bit more for the price. I did purchase one other eyeshadow quad, the Honeymoon quad, so I think maybe I will test that out this month, because I did see that there is another eyeshadow quad coming up in the Nordstrom Anniversary Sale catalog. And I'm so tempted to purchase it, but I want to make sure that I'm not just purchasing it for the name, that I actually like the formula. So I think I'll try to pull that other Tom Ford quad this month. The other palette I was using for the first time is Ace Beauté Grandiose palette that came in a Boxy Charm last year. I love a good warm tone palette, and the colors in this palette were really beautiful. I do like the colors. I don't think that they had very much lasting power. It was fine initially on application, but by the end of the day, I did feel like the colors faded a little bit. And it could be that I'm just more light-handed than others with eyeshadows. I will continue to use it just because I think the colors are so pretty, but I probably won't use it on days where I have a really long day. The other two eyeshadow palettes I've used before. I was drawn to this Urban Decay Light Beam eyeshadow palette, mostly for this orange color, which old me would have been scared by, but I think it's such a pretty color, and it's really not as bright as it seems. This Golden Hour shadow kind of has a dual chromey look. It reminds me of one of the shadows in the Natasha Denona Mini Star palette. but this golden hour has just so much fallout. When I use it, I purposely did my eyes before my foundation, just so I could clean up all of the fallout before I went in with my foundation. But still, after I put on my foundation, I had all this glitter all over my face. So other than that shadow, I really enjoyed using this palette. Okay, last eyeshadow palette is the Anastasia Soft Glam. This was the very first ABH eyeshadow palette that I ever purchased, and it's still my favorite. The shades in here are so pretty. I was surprised at how the glitter shadows aren't super glittery. They're definitely wearable for every day, even a casual day. I think the only one that I don't really use is the Noir, the black. I just feel that on me, black can come off as really harsh, so I don't tend to use very much black. I much prefer dark grays or dark browns. Okay, and I think everything left is from Project Pan, or I'll be keeping in. So now let's move on to the fun part, shopping my stash. Okay, so here we are in my first new makeup drawer, and this drawer has all of my face products. So I have things like primers, foundation, setting spray, concealer, blush, bronzer, and highlight. I think that I haven't filmed this video yet, but I'm dying to give this a try. I just picked this up over the weekend. This is the Chanel Le Beige Water Fresh Tint in the shade Light. So this comes with a very light coverage foundation, plus a brush for application. So I will be pulling this out to use this month. The other thing that I picked up at the same time was this Le Beige Natural or Healthy Glow Sheer Color Stick. This is the shade Blush, number 21. Such a pretty color. I think I'm going to stick with mostly cream products this month, just because it's so hot. Okay, so I'll take that. So I have my foundation. Let's see. Maybe I'll pull this new bareMinerals, that Peach Though Gen Nude blush. This has been on my wish list for a very long time. I just picked this up at TJ Maxx recently. So I will give this a try. And I'm actually looking for, there it is, the Milani bronzer that I passed on last month in favor of the Fenty Glow or the Fenty Beauty bronzer, but I think I want to give this a try this month. So I have bronzer, blush. I'm actually, spoiler alert, going to be picking up mostly Laura Mercier products this month, so I think I'll also pick up this Laura Mercier highlighter. That's what it looks like. It looks like a very natural, everyday type of highlight. It looks perfect for the month. I think I do still need a powder. Maybe I'll try this bareMinerals Original Mineral Veil Powder this month. And maybe I want to do one more cream blush. Actually, I have something in mind from one of my older jars, so we'll finish up with this jar and move on to the next jar. This next new makeup jar has some eye products. I have things like mascaras, eyeliners, lashes, some single eyeshadows, some palettes apparently, and all of my lip products. So I have lipsticks, glosses, etc. in here. So let's see. I think, what do I need? Okay, let's start off with the easy stuff, lipsticks. I featured these two in my most recent TJ Maxx and Marshalls haul video, and I think the one I want to do is the understudy color. So let's try this, and I also wanted to test out one of the new Becca lip balms that I got. So I'm thinking one of the darker ones. I wonder if this one is the darker one of the two. Let's see, so that's the ginger vanilla. Maybe I'll go with this one since the other one looks a little similar to the Marc Jacobs lipstick that I just pulled. So Almond Face it is. I don't need a new mascara, but I did recently get this as a gift with purchase, this Lancome mascara booster or base. So I think I will test this out. And I actually think I'm good on brow products. So let's move on to the next jar. This jar contains all of the face products that I've used before. So, oh, you know what? I forgot to mention this during my cleaning up my monthly makeup basket video. I had actually pulled this setting spray to use during the month of June. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus 3-in-1 primer water. I tried to use it as a setting spray. I don't think it did a very good job with that. I think the next time I pull it, I'll try it more as a priming spray or a prepping spray. The spray it's okay. Don't know if you can see that. It does feel really nice, but it's the scent that drove me crazy. I thought I would prefer this over the coconut scent, but this just smelled terribly. I would have to hold my breath whenever I used it. So if you're sensitive to sprays and you don't particularly like cucumber, this might not be the spray for you. Okay, I already know that I wanted to pull some Mercier products. So for summer, I prefer definitely a thinner face base product. So I'm going to pull the Mercier foundation primer. This is the protecting version with the extra SPF in it, as well as the tinted moisturizer, and I'm in the shade Nude. To go along with the Mercier face products, I'm also going to pull the Mercier Secret Concealer. I use the shade 2.5. I previously used to use the shade 2, but when they came out with the 0.5 shades, I went up to the 2.5. But 2 would work for me as well. For powder, I'm going to add on the SPF. I'm going to pull the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Airbrush Perfecting Powder. When I used this recently, I actually saw that there was kind of a film around the outside. So as you can see, it doesn't pick up much powder. So I actually just scraped off in the middle, and now I get more powder that way. But I just scraped it off with my nail. Maybe I should find a credit card or something so it scrapes off a more even layer. But I'll be pulling this for the month. And I think that's good. So we'll move on to the next jar. Now this jar houses more of my face products. I have blushes, so these are my powder blushes, cream blushes. I have some more powder blushes down here. This is a blush palette. I have just a couple of highlighters here and here, my bronzers, and my face palettes. I think that I want to go for cream blush, so I'm going to be pulling this Can Make Cream Cheek. This is in the shade 05, and I think it was something like apricot. I will look it up. But I picked this up last year in Japan. I already have a highlighter. I pulled a bronzer, so I don't think that I will be needing anything else from this drawer. I'm sorry, this is going to be a really boring Shop My Stash this month. I have a bunch of things in Project Pan that I'm trying to work on. So yeah, I think that's it for this drawer. Okay, and this last makeup drawer houses all of my eyeshadow palettes. And I'm not sure how this got in here. I should actually put this with my other eye products. I have 3 eyeshadow palettes I'm already working on in Project Pan, so I think I only want to pull one more palette, and I'm thinking I want to pull a more mauve-y palette. Not this one, I already pulled this recently. Let's see. I know I have a ColourPop mauve palette. Okay, maybe this one. This Makeup Geek one. Actually, it looks pretty similar to some of the other palettes I've already pulled for the month. Let's see, what is this? Okay, actually this might work. I think there are only 2 matte shades in this palette, but I think having a lot of shimmers might actually pair well with some of my Project Pan eyeshadow palettes. Maybe I could use the mattes from those palettes combined with the shimmers from this palette and get more use out of my Project Pan items. So I will pull this palette. Okay, and finally, I have this little acrylic jar set that I keep most of my pencil products. I think it's mostly eye products in here. I have my brow products, eyeliners, cream eyeshadow sticks, some single eyeshadows. So this is actually where I'm going to stick the other eyeshadow. Stick this in here. Okay, so I think I need to choose a new brow product. I think I've rotated through everything recently except for this NYX Micro Brow. So I'll pull this. I use the shade Ash Brown. And I actually like to pair that with a brow powder. So I will pull my ABH Brow Powder Duo in the shade Medium Brown. Maybe I should put this in a Project Pan, finish it up. But we'll use this month. I actually wouldn't mind pulling in some cream eyeshadows. So I have this Laura Mercier Caviar Stick and Caramel, but I think I'll actually go with this Rose Gold one. Pull this. I'll also need some eyeliners. So I've kind of separated my eyeliners in color families. So I have my browns. I guess these are the darkers. I have gray, blue, purple, here black. But I love my brown eyeliners. So I'll try this ColourPop cream gel liner in the shade Call Me. Of all the ColourPop gel liners, Mr. Bing is my favorite. I bought 3 of these at the same time, and for some reason the other 2 are a lot more fragile. They're always breaking off on me. Mr. Bing has never given me that problem. but this is a pretty kind of purpley brown shade. So I'll pull this, and I do need either a gray or a dark liner. Maybe I'll try this Milani waterproof eyeliner. This is in the shade Stay with Slate. If I can recall, this does tend to smudge on me, so I have to be really careful to do a really thin line with it. But I will pull this month. And here are my more random shades. Ooh, actually, do I want Best O instead of Call Me? Actually, maybe I want to go with the Best O. I think this is the purpley brown shade I'm thinking of. You know what? I'll just pull them both. And I don't need a lip liner since I have one in my project pan. Here we have one of my skincare drawers. I do need to pull a new toner since I'm just about to run out of my current xoxo one, and I think I do want to try a new moisturizer after all. I'm going to take out the Tatcha one. So for toner, I will be pulling this Urban Equal Warata toner from the brand The Same or The Sem. I picked this up a couple of months ago from CVS, and I thought it was really interesting because it's a dual layer. I guess it's hard to see, but it has a water layer and a cream layer, so you kind of shake it up before you use it and then apply it to the skin. This sounded interesting, so I think I will try this. And let's see, those are masks. Maybe I will try this Algenist moisturizer. It's a gel moisturizer, which is something that I prefer for summer since it is a little bit lighter. So oat sealed, but I think I'll give this a try for the month. Okay, and I think that'll complete my July Shop My Stash. Thanks so much for stopping by, and hope to see you again in one of my future videos. Bye!